All right. I'm done outside. Night. Why, hello, Rib Clarissa. Oh, that looks like a salamander or like a gecko or something. Actually, no, a monitor lizard. Like, you know, it has those like kind of flaps on the side of its face. It looks kind of like that monitor lizard or whatever. See, like it has those little kind of flaps that extend on the side of its face. Hi, Aunt. How are you doing? Good evening, Cat. I'm doing wonderful. Now it kind of looks like a little dragon, a baby dragon right there. So yeah, this was a good pick for you, Clarissa. There is so many different things in this. Like, there's a lot going on in this one. Why, hello, Celeste. How are you doing? I know, it's great, isn't it? Your Kumbaba Jaspers is charging at the shop for a bit before I bring it home. I'm doing wonderful, Celeste. I'm doing wonderful. Is it okay? Yeah, no, it's fine. It's more of like just benefiting it. Does that make sense, Clarissa? There's nothing wrong with it. It's just charging at the shop. And then I'll bring it here to charge at my house. What have you been up to, Celeste? I enjoyed the energy of it, I'm sure. I felt like the creativity would be good for you. We might, not much. I'm on my work break at the moment. Very nice. What about you? Well, you know, I'm streaming, doing readings, all that jazz. I had a wonderful pastrami sandwich I made. I'm sure you do, Clarissa. But Celeste, you know, we should probably get you like a Tektite or a Moldavite. I feel like it would be very beneficial for you. I feel like a Tektite or a Moldavite would be really beneficial for you, Celeste. Because it helps to transform your energy into a place that you need to be. It kind of pushes that change a bit harder. It pushes that change a bit harder for you. What's that black palm stone? Black palm stone? Is it on the grid? Oh, are you looking at... I think this is you're referring to this one, which is, I believe, a labradorite. Let me take off my camera so you can see it. I believe it's a labradorite. Let me get a closer look at it. No, I don't think this is a labradorite. Feels maybe kind of like a jasper. Or fluorite. No, this is fluorite. This is fluorite, I believe. Let me see. Let me see if it's translucent. That'll be a dead giveaway if that. No, not translucent. Not super translucent. Just on the edges. It's got some interesting energy going on it. We have a ring. How much should I be getting paid soon? I might be able to. We have a Moldavite ring. It depends on what you want to do. Do you want to go the Moldavite, like the full thing, or do you want to go the Moldavite adjacent, like a Tektite? Let me feel what energy it has, Clarissa. It feels like a very kind of calming energy. It feels very heart focused. It does hit the mind a bit. This might actually be a fluorite. Because it feels very kind of like heart and mind focused. And a little bit throat focused as well. I'm not getting quite as much communication as I should for a fluorite though. So I'm kind of back and forth on that. I'm doing wonderful, Jayla. How are you? It's not hitting the throat like I would expect a fluorite to hit. It's more focused in the mind and the heart. So it might be a jade. Yes, we are doing readings, just not at this moment. Honestly, Celeste, what I would say would be the best for you, it might be like a jade. But Moldavite would be best for you. Tektite is more of kind of like a cheaper alternative. This is a size 6 ring, I believe. I can check to make sure. But I believe it's a size 6 ring. Let me check. That's 6.5. 6. We'll see very quickly. Yeah, it's a size 6 ring. Can wear it on pinky if need. Yeah. This one is 300 though. It would be kind of camp. That's a term I've never heard. It works for my pinky. Whereas Tektite would be 177 for it. I don't know, maybe Celeste, we just have like that pinky gene where our pinkies are the same size. Oh my gosh, yes. But yeah, Moldavite would be ideal for you, Celeste. You've been needing something to kind of push you outside of your comfort zone a bit, and that's why I'm feeling like Moldavite would be good for you, or Tektite would be a good alternative. And if last I checked, shipping isn't bad to you for what it usually is. So I think a Moldavite would be a very good investment for you, to really kind of push yourself. Let me check 300 Australian dollars. Okay. Well, it'll be probably more like 320, I believe. It'll probably be more like 320-ish. Based off of the pricing we were looking at for shipping last time. I can check right now. Alright, rates, and then we'll do, it's probably going to be an 11 by 9. And then it's going to Australia. And it's not even going to be like an ounce. So, what's like an ounce to Australia? An 11 by 9. Yeah, it's still the same pricing. 2047. Yeah, we will be in a shortly, Jayla. So yeah, it's like $20 for shipping, which isn't terrible for Australia. That's not terrible at all. We did try to ship. There was one time we tried to ship like this massive chunk of selenite to Australia. It was something like $500 of shipping. I'm not even checking. We're joking. We're talking like a massive piece of selenite, though. This was back when we were first starting the Etsy, and we didn't really have kind of like everything organized how we needed to. Yeah, it was something nuts. The selenite was like 15 pounds, and it was really oblong, so it needed kind of like an awkward box for it. And this is where we learned FedEx is never cheaper than anything, and to never ship FedEx. So we completely did. We never use FedEx ever. It's always more expensive. I've never seen an instance where FedEx is less expensive. USPS is good for like smaller items, and UPS is good for like heavier, bigger items. But UPS is good for like bigger boxes and heavier items. But yeah, I'm really feeling this for you. If you want to go the route we did for, you know, your previous purchases, we can do that, Celeste. Oh. Surprisingly, like, UPS is only like $3 more for international, which isn't terrible, but I wouldn't go for it for just, you know, there's no greater benefit to it. Oh, actually, you do get a speedier delivery. Yeah, I could ship that for $23.47, and you would get it by the 15th, it says. If I shipped it out today. So that is an option for you if you want to pay $3 more. You would get it much quicker. As opposed to what could be 1 to 4 weeks of shipping. Roxy, that's you need to use I use a shipping aggregator, which actually gets us really good discounts. That's like going into store prices. Oh, by the way, I wanted to show off the chrome diopsides we got in. They're already sold, unfortunately. No, fortunately. What am I saying? Fortunately, they found really good homes. But this is chrome diopside. I'll show it to everyone else. But we can always get more if anyone's drawn to them. What I should say, Clarissa, is unfortunate for everyone else, highly fortunate for you. But isn't that gorgeous? And then Celeste, take a look at this. Oh my gosh, it looks like there's a big frog on the front now. If I hold it out, Look, really wide-eyed frog with a big nose. And a really unhappy face. You know, it kind of looks like a goblin. Now it looks like an eye. Right there. Now it looks like a goblin. Now it kind of looks like an eye. This thing just keeps having so many things. It's giving gremlin vibes. It is. It's chrome dioxide. We can get more, by the way, if anyone is interested in it. Chrome dioxide is a really good stone for calming emotional issues, calming energy down. Actually, that would be really good for you, Roxy, is chrome dioxide. To help calm down the heart and emotional issues you're going through. They're from Russia. Why does my blue shirt appear green on there, kind of? You can be in 2 eras at once. Yes. Hey, Kat, did you... you should see the chrome dioxide we got in. They did end up selling. But they're very, very strong. Very good for emotional issues. Show them the frog. I mean, which one? Like, we got one frog there, kind of. We got a frog back here. I don't know if it's gonna... wait, do I have it upside... I have it upside down. Don't I? Which way was it? I think it was this way. Oh yeah, there's a frog right there. There's a little frog right there. Yeah. And then there's a big frog right there. Oh, there's the frog also. And look, he's giving a little smoochy face. So you see the eye, and then you'll see the little smoochy face. It wants a big kiss so it can turn back into a prince. Oh, there's a frog. See, there's its leg, there's the eye, and the nose. See, like, that's a big frog right there. But yeah, we can show them the stibnite. Alright, I will show the stibnite. So, for this, it kind of looks like an alligator right here. Or where was it? Was it on that side? Or was it on this side? There it is. You got like a little alligator right there. See, there's the eyes, there's the mouth, and it looks like it's going to hide in its cave. There's its body. Alligator, crocodile, whatever, it's all the same. Hi Sasha, how are you doing? We're more so talking about crystals right now, hun. Hello, Cat Mortician. But yeah, Clarissa was asking for stibnite, and I ended up finding one. So I can get more of these. They have some rather big ones, and then some like smaller ones. This was the best piece I found. That would be reasonable, Clarissa. No, I need to find some. I'm sure it won't be long before you do. And you even got one you didn't know you needed, which was a chrome diopside, which I am such a fan of its brilliant green. Like, seriously, I am a fan of how brilliant chrome dioxide's green is. We had another one that sold as well, and it was this one. Kind of looks like a heart. And so this is a chrome dioxide, everyone. That kind of looks like an anglerfish right there. Doesn't show up well on the phone camera, but it showed up well on YouTube. Yeah, it looks like an anglerfish. Oh, there it is. See, you see the mouth, and then you see... Doesn't show quite as well as it's showing up on YouTube. Yeah, YouTube's a bit more pronounced. Yeah, there's anglerfish, like, so you see the mouth, see the eye, but it's definitely more pronounced on YouTube. But yeah, like, it's been a while since I've been so excited about kind of a new crystal, like chrome dioxide. Like, I got instantly, like, connected to it. So I was like, I really want this in the shop. It was really pretty. It was really pretty. Alexandrite's going to be another story. I have no idea when we're going to have more Alexandrite. I just had to get it. I know. No idea when we're going to have more Alexandrites. We got those, and now we don't. A while back, and now it's going to be, I don't know how long until we get some more. I'm sure you do in advance, Clarissa. But we'll see. Maybe eventually, sometime, at some point. He's been on my mind. Also, do you still have that selenite heart bulb? I do, Celeste. Right here. Okay, sounds good, Clarissa. But yeah, we still have that, Celeste, so we can, you know, but I think Moldavite ring is also a very high priority. It'd be good to have those two together, though. Okay, hi, Clarissa. But yeah, I'm definitely feeling the Moldavite ring for you. What's going on, though, Trisha? How are you doing? But yeah, if Moldavite's out of the question, Celeste, Tektite is a good backup. It's a little over half price of the Moldavite ring. A little over it. Tektite is amazing. It's not as strong as Moldavite, but it's definitely got its own power to that degree. Moldavite's like a rocket ship, where Tektite's kind of like a smaller rocket ship, I guess I would say. But yeah, we already read that for you, Scarlet, and I did speak positively of that. So, it's not good to constantly pry into an energy after you kind of got an answer for that, because it could actually skew it in a negative direction. If that keeps getting opened up and then different energies keep getting into it, so you might, continuing to ask that question on multiple sources will actually sabotage your hopes on that. that's a forewarning for you, Scarlet. They are both pretty. Yeah, smaller rocket ship. What was the total for the Molivite again? It's 321 or 320.47. But if you want it by the 15th, it would be 323.47. Basically, that it would just be like $3 extra, and it would more than likely get there before the 15th, it says. Well, if it was shipped off today, so it's probably going to be more like the 16th or 17th or whatever. Because I'm not shipping it today. There's no way. Post office is closed. And pickups are over for UPS. So it's like you either wait 1 to 4 weeks, you know, roll the dice on that, or it at least guarantees you get it on or before the 15th. Oh, that's if it's shipped by tomorrow, actually. So 15th would be more accurate, because it's already accounting for it being dropped off tomorrow. I want it, but I'll have to see. Okay, sounds good. Well, you just let me know. That Selenite spear is huge. I was just like looking at it, and I realize now how big it actually is. Mm-hmm. She is. Selenite is definitely always one thing I will suggest to everyone. If they don't have it, they should have it. 100% she's a staple. Selenite is always a staple, is always something that needs to be in your arsenal when it comes to crystals. Yeah, no, and you're just, it's just a matter of getting used to it, Clarissa, with your energy. Charging Queen, 100%. And then we have little silver sheen obsidians off to the side. But yeah. Yeah, coffee, but I'm out for today. That was my second one. That was my second coffee. We don't do third coffees here. Unless we want to be staying up all night. Like, second coffee, okay. Third coffee, you're going to be thinking all night. And you're going to be in your head constantly thinking about random stuff that you don't need to be thinking about. Yeah, that's my limit on caffeine, is like 2 of these, and then, well, 2 of these coffees, and then it's just like, nope. After that, anything after that, like, I can drink all the tea I want, that's fine. For whatever reason, that caffeine doesn't really affect me that much. But if it's a third one of these coffees, Because by the time I finish it too, anything past that is just, it's too much. So that's what I set my limit to. But yeah, I love coffee also. I can only drink one a week. You were off the walls yesterday, Clarissa, when you had that one coffee. So it's debatable whether you can even handle one a week. But I want to take a guess at what likely happens, Clarissa. Is that coffee you have isn't just like, oh, just a coffee with cream. It's, no, I want the ultra mega quintuple shot of espresso with an extra side of just caffeine put in. And then on top of that, I want an energy, Red Bull poured into it. It was an ice white mocha. With like 50 shots of espresso. Yeah, for whatever reason, you just tend to get easily caffeinated. All right. But is anyone interested in some crystals? Asking about crystals. Hello, Carm. How is everything going for you? Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is a fluorite, but it's got a little bit different energy than just kind of like standard fluorite. What's going on, Carm? Caffeinated. Yeah, one would say, Clarissa. But are you going to start doing quick readings now? I mean, I can do one for you, but I'm not really easing into it quite yet. But what was your question, Jayla? I'll do yours. I feel so guilty, but I know it's for the best. I don't feel you should feel guilty, Karma. I feel there was a lot of buildup for you that led up to you making that decision. So I feel that guiltiness is misplaced. The only question would be if me and my ex are getting back together soon. Yes, but not soon. A lot of this actually is kind of just them working through a lot of things right now. So it doesn't feel like a soon thing, but it does feel like the energy is there for them to want to get back together. They're just not in a place to take action on it. So Jayla, I feel like you need to kind of ask yourself, is this worth kind of waiting around for? So yeah, although it may happen, do you feel that... I'm not saying to step away from this, but I'm also saying that there should be things kind of you're working on the side. They do care about you still, though. Yeah, no, I understand that. It was more of, it wasn't a suggestion to say, oh, I wasn't trying to rhetorically ask you, or rhetorically make a statement of you kind of turning away from them. Or rather, it's something I wanted you to think about. I wasn't trying to imply the answer to it. Does that make sense? But rather put that thought into your head is, should I stick around? Should I not? Think about it and ponder it over. And make sure you're also doing what you need to do to succeed. And you're welcome, Karm Karm. I'm kicking this weird, like, little slight cinnamon smell. I know it's in my garbage, but I don't remember making anything with cinnamon. Well, that's also, Karma, that's the thing is that's pride when it comes down to it. People who tend to not care about situations that are rather impactful in their life, they're very prideful and whatnot. Especially if it's actually truthfully, like they legitimately don't care. That's when you know the devil has grasped their heart. Someone who can't see something for when they are making mistakes or messing up, that's really bad if they can't recognize how they're making a mistake or how they're messing up, or how their role or part to play in said mistakes led to the result that they led to. That's one of the worst positions you can be in as a person, is to not be able to recognize something that hurt someone. Not recognize something that hurt someone and actually then gaslight them and blame it on them. So that's a really bad place for that person to be. And it tells me that that person is truly is grasped to some degree by an entity at that point, to not be able to hold on to caring about their impacts on others and not caring. Now, the lack of caring can be dependent on, say, what led up to that. But if there's literally no emotional attachment, and you did try to get things to work, you did try to talk things out, you made mistakes, they made mistakes and whatnot, and then it's like, yeah, I don't care, or I don't see it. It depends, but in your case, I feel like this is someone that is definitely grasped by an entity. And we have discussed this before, how they constantly give into that negative. You want to know what's the interesting thing is when you read scripture on how, and that it can actually make a lot of people violent. Did you know that just praying the scripture can actually make some people violent, or lash out, or say very, very negative things? That's how you know someone is gripped by the devil. Yeah, it's because you're attacking the entity that's within them. Just reading passages from the Bible, reading scripture, can actually elicit a violent response from people who are gripped by the devil. Yeah, exactly, Karma, and that's why I'm having this conversation. He never wanted you to even mention God. So that tells me that that when you spoke of God, and that when you spoke of, if you had spoken of scripture and prayed with him, you may have even gotten those kind of... Now, violence doesn't necessarily mean that there's physical harm or anything, but rather a violent response, like something that is over the top, or something kind of beyond what would be considered a normal conversation. That's what I mean by violent. I don't mean like violence in just the aspect of like physically lashing out, but rather just a strong emotional response, like out of pocket, very out of pocket, yes. Now, there can be physical violence in some degrees, depending on how bad the entity has someone. Someone may even come after you. It does happen. It does happen where you do get physical responses to that degree. Or they try to sabotage you. So I want to, let's see. I'm going to grab the Bible and I want to flip through it. I want to do a little bit. I want to see what Spirit and God has for me in store for reading scripture right now, because I feel like I'm drawn to reading scripture a little bit, but I don't know which passage I want to read. So I'm going to let Spirit decide it. Actually, I'm being drawn to Colossians, or Colossians, or I don't know how to speak it. That's John, Romans, not Corinthians. Not Corinthians. Galatians. What? What, cat mortician? Philippians. Ah, here we go. All right, where am I feeling? Where am I gonna land on? Let me grab all the pages for Colossians, and we will pick a page out of it. I'll split it and then see where we end up. Ah, okay, I'm feeling here. Oh, that's the introduction. Okay, so it's on this page. Okay, yeah, I'm feeling Colossians 1-9. For this reason, we also, since the day we heard it, do not cease to pray for you, and to ask that you may be filled with the knowledge of his will, in all wisdom and spiritual understanding, that you may walk worthy of the Lord, fully pleasing him, being fruitful in every good work and increasing in the knowledge of God, strengthened with all might according to his glorious power, for all patience and long-suffering with joy. And we will talk about long-suffering. Long-suffering is very important, everyone. If you don't know, long-suffering is what truly forges people to be strong in the Lord. Giving thanks to the Father who has qualified us to be partakers of the inheritance of the saints in the light. He has delivered us from the powers of darkness and conveyed us into the kingdom of the Son of his love, in whom we have redemption through his blood, the forgiveness of sins. Speaking of Jesus. So, why is long-suffering important? I want to ask everyone this. Why do you think long-suffering is important? And, well, let's actually preface this. Does everyone know what long-suffering is? Dealing with challenges, 100%. Let me ask, and I'm going to pose another question to you. Why did Jesus say that it's easier for the camel to go through an eye of a needle than it is for a rich man to get into heaven? Is it because a rich man is rich? Why do you think that is? No, it's not greed. It's not greed. See, you can have money without having greed. There's a big difference between greed and actually having money. A person with no money can be very greedy, and a person with a ton of money may not necessarily be greedy. Not what it takes to become rich. See, you can have a successful business, but not be greedy. There's a difference. It's whether greed consumes the person to the point where they seek not to help. Speaking of the rich person in Lazarus who was sitting, having his wounds licked by dogs, that was a sign of greed because he refused to help him. He could have taken Lazarus in and said, I will feed you and clothe you, but I need you to do work. That would be an expression of non-greed. He's taking care of the person while still having them earn their keep and whatnot, but instead he ignored him and then he suffered as a result in hell. Greed is not innately tied to money. Greed is not determined by the amount of money you have, necessarily. It's what it does to your mind and how it dictates your actions. So just because you have $1 billion doesn't mean you're greedy, because you may be leading a successful environment. But the question is does it lead to other sins? Does it cause you to commit crimes in pursuit of that finances? If it doesn't, if you got it through legitimate means and also sought to help people while still having that money, that's fine. That's not greed. But the point of the matter is people who have money don't have it easier to turn away from God because they have the physical means in their life to acquire things, essentially, which means that it provides a lot less hardship for them, especially if they just are born into money. And it's not necessarily that the money is what keeps them from God, but it's their actions, because their their amount of money can lead to less hardship, which then those hardships are what takes us closer to God. When we suffer, when we're suffering, when we're spiraling downwards, if you're religious, what do you normally do? You bust out the Bible and you start praying, right? Well, if you had money in that buffer zone, you might seek other avenues to avoid praying. You might partake in certain things. You might go out and do things which involve spending money, which allows you to avoid the consequences of sin. And you're less likely to go to God and then pray. Does that make sense? So it's that suffering and that hardship which ultimately brings us closer to God. Suffering and hardship can be difficult. It can be tough. This is long suffering. It's where we go through prolonged periods of suffering to receive our blessings, to basically earn our blessings and prove that we are worthy of them by still sticking close to God despite the suffering we are going through. Yes, I would agree, Karma, because they haven't dealt with the hardships of the world. Like hedonism. Yes, hedonism. Hedonism would be a perfect example of it. There's always exclusions for that, Karma. I agree. But yeah, hedonism can take us further from God, because then we can fulfill desires and avoid those consequences of our sin, which then slowly numbs us from it. I'm reminded of the story that Jesus speaks of when he's where the son took his inheritance and squandered it. And when he left town, and then he ended up sitting in a pig pen eating like scraps of food to survive because he squandered all his money. Then he said, I'm going to return to my father and I'm going to ask for forgiveness and say, I have sinned and I want to be like a servant to you because I have sinned and I am sorry. He returns home. His father runs to him, gets him a robe, puts a ring on him, and says, my son has returned, blessed be, kill the fatted calf, and let's party, for my son has returned. He was died and now he's alive again. And the brother ultimately gets really bitter because he's like, I've served for you, I toiled for you, I never gave up on you. And he's like, my world is yours, son. Like, I give you everything I have. I don't miss that you've toiled for me. But my son, my other son, who was dead, is now alive again. This is why we're partying, because we're rejoicing because he has returned alive. It's such an important one, Celeste. But there may be not that there we may not have that come to Jesus moment where if that money continues, he would have still lived that life of squander. But when he squandered it all, and then he was without money, he was in a pig pen with food, with just pig scraps and whatnot, he's like, there's no way I can live this way anymore. There's no way I can live this lifestyle. And he was ready to say, I will become a servant for you, Father. I will do what I need to do to make things right. And he was invited in with open arms, and there was a party and a celebration. I gotta take this call.
Incoming team chat request.
But I said what I wanted to on that one.
Incoming team chat request. Incoming team chat request.